The World Matrix in 3D, a 1999 film, a 1 hour and 20-minute movie. Sound is mono. 1.33 to 1 aspect ratio is the picture. This is currently 2 out of 10 stars on Internet Movie Database. It's not on Rotten Tomatoes and it's not on Wikipedia. This was filmed in LA in August of 1999 in 1 month, and it's not rated. This stars Michael Robbins as Gordon. You've got Sydney Steele as Dark Woman. You got Stephanie Beaton as Veronica, and you have James Surveillance as Evans, and you have Tim Sullivan as Dr. Parks, and Vanessa Stewart as the nurse. Now, how did we get here? How did I get this? What's going on here? My son Joey and I, we watch a lot of movies on, well, he's a big fan of Red Letter Media on YouTube. And they do what they call, they have a show called The Best of the Worst. They have other shows, but they have a show called The Best of the Worst. And they review the worst movies that people send into them. And they review. Anyway, so every now and then a movie will show up on there, and Joey's always got his eye open for 3D versions, and that's how we found Ape. And go back and check my review on Ape. You're going to like that. That was a gem. We found a gem. And so we thought we would try The World Matrix in 3D. So that's how we got here. What is this movie about? This movie is about a couple of guys. So I'm going to read it back to you because you got to hear it. Two friends take a cyber vacation to experience a world where they can act out their most violent and erotic fantasies. They soon realize they've entered a virtual free-for-all. Forbidden fantasies and desires suddenly appear in the form of an even deadlier dark woman. All the players now end up in a cyber battle for their lives and sanity against a beautiful virtual hunter who has one killer fixation: winning the deadly game they started. And so you got a couple of guys in here, and this is 1999, if you can imagine. The technology 1999. And these guys are sitting in this room with these goggles on. And they look like more modern goggles, you know? I mean, the virtual reality goggles. But it's 1999. And they're in this video game. And they're playing some kind of a game, some ships going through some mines under the sea and things like that. And they're also out in this virtual world, which is actually filmed in the real world by them. And they're acting out their fantasies. And they're in gun battles with the Dark Woman. And and then they come out. And he goes, "Hey man, let's go back to the virtual world." He goes, "I don't know, man." He goes, "No, man, we can do anything we want in virtual world. We can do bad things in virtual world and not get in trouble for it." And that's basically what it's all about. And then as time goes on, they get stuck in this world, and then things become reality. The world becomes reality. And a lot of people get hurt and killed. And then there's some people switching roles at the end. But that's basically what I want to say about the movie. Let's talk about the 3D now, because I know that's why you're here. The 3D is absolutely horrid. It's horrid. It's the worst 3D I've ever seen. I have to say, it is the absolute worst 3D I've ever seen. Now think about it. This is filmed on a videotape. And when my son asked me, he says, "Dad, I got this, you get shutter glasses, right?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, it's not a Blu-ray." I said, "Well, it can't be. It's got to be an anaglyph then." No, it's a DVD. It's in a black case, not a Blu-ray case. And it says right on it, here, it says 3D versions require electronic 3D shutter glasses to view. I said, "Well, then get it." So they converted this tape. It's, in some cases, it's absolutely unwatchable. There are people with 4 eyes and 2 noses and 2 mouths, and you're trying to watch this. And then on a building, there's a bunch of horizontal lines you can see from the tape. And then all of a sudden, a gun will stick out. A 3D gun will stick out perfect, you know, right in your face, out of nowhere. But the background is so bad, so bad. We actually had to turn it off after 20 minutes. We couldn't watch more than 20 minutes of the 3D. I said, "We want to go to 2D?" He goes, "Yeah, let's go to 2D and we'll review it." And so that's it on the 3D. It is actually that bad. Now I will say this, in that opening game scene, when they're going through the mines and they're in the spaceships and there are things like that, there was actually good 3D in that scene. It was a scene from a game. It wasn't the actual actors or anything. And it was the way it was laid out. There was, you know, mines going by and everything. I said, okay, maybe this is going to be good. But no, I mean, that lasts just a couple of minutes and that's it. It's over. Maybe even a minute. And the rest is just videotape that's just absolutely horrible. You cannot watch it. You cannot watch this in 3D. And it's part of the problem is they didn't have the budget. I mean, the soundtrack's this one grunge band. It's a grunge rock band. It's not bad actually, but it's just grinding. And the music's not bad, but the way they use it, it's just grinding and grinding and grinding in the background all the time. It never lets up. You know, I think it might even have been an album or something. It's not a bad music. It's just grinding and grinding. Some shaky cam, and they didn't have the money to film in proper sets. To me, I mean, they're in back alleys. In the daytime, they're in back alleys. They're in buildings that are under construction. In several cases, they're in buildings that are under construction. They're in vacant office buildings that obviously looks like it's after hours. And so they just didn't have that budget to make the movie that good. Not let alone it's on videotape. It's 1999. There are a lot of politically incorrect things in here. Violence towards women. There's rape triggers in here. It's not something that I think you would want to pick up or really watch. You know, it's like the Matrix. They're trying to do like I wouldn't say a rip-off, but they're trying to, you know, look like the Matrix and Westworld and that kind of atmosphere. And there's some nudity in there, you know, some boobs bouncing around, stuff like that. But, you know, there are triggers, though. Be careful. There are triggers. There are triggers. So, why am I even reviewing this? Well, like I always said, sometimes when I get to these reviews, I'm like, do I really want to review this? But I watched it. And it's in 3D. Or it's sold as in 3D. So I'm watching it so you don't. Or I'm watching it so you will. And so that's why I wind up watching these, because they're interesting to me and they are unique. So what I'm going to do with this, V-World Matrix in 3D. For the 3D, it's a 0. It's a 0 stars for the 3D. 0 stars for the 3D. For the movie itself, I'm debating on, I'm going to go with you know, they tried. They tried. You get a half star. You get a half star for trying on the movie. Half star for the movie, 0 on the 3D. Tell me what you think of this. I guess I'm going to have to ask you, have you seen it? I mean, I don't think you've seen it in the theaters in 3D. Have you seen it in 3D? Have you seen it in 2D? Leave some comments below. I think this brings back some memories to some people. I don't know. I was doing a little research and I saw where people left comments where they had seen this movie. So anyway, leave some comments below. Let me know. I want you to hit that like and subscribe button. Got a lot more reviews coming. And I want you to stay safe. Have a good night. As always, God bless.